Friends, welcome to our channel. In today's UPSC Toppers Answer Copy Analysis, we are going to discuss UPSC 2017 All India Rank 1 Anudeep Durishetty's essay paper. So you know very well in the UPSC examination we need to write 2 essays, and out of the 2 essays each essay will be carrying 125 marks. So overall we need to write for essay paper out of 250 marks. And one more thing, in the essay paper the requirement is we need to present our essay in 1000 to 1200 words. This is the word limit which they have mentioned. Additionally friends, in the UPSC mains examination, for covering these words, on an average we need to present our answers in 10 to 12 pages. Considering per page everyone students will be writing 100 words. So this is the requirement. If you present your essay something less than 10 pages or above 12 pages, the UPSC examiner will not find it attractive to give you more marks. So this is the first thumb rule which we need to learn when we wanted to write an essay. Let's now go into the question which has been asked here. So out of the 4 topics, this topper has picked up the first topic for writing the essay. So that is concerning change is the end result of all learning. And if you look at this particular title, he has clearly underlined the key words in the essay. This we have been telling repeatedly while discussing the GS paper as well. Whenever we read a question, first we should understand what is the theme of the essay, that essay which has been given, that is the title, and in the title what is the keyword, because that is the main attraction throughout the essay which we need to convey in a beautiful manner to fetch more marks. Let's now look at the structure of the essay which this topper has presented, friends. You know very well, as in the GS paper, like in essay paper also, the essay should have proper structure. That is, as we talk about structure, the structure should have proper introduction, body, conclusion. Even here, if you look at it, this UPSC topper, that is All India Rank 1, Anudeep Durishetty, has almost taken 1.5 pages to write an introduction. So this is, I would say, a good way to write an essay introduction, because in an essay paper the introduction can be written to a maximum of even up to 2 pages. So this is something which we can follow. While coming to the conclusion should be precise. It should not be lengthy. We should write it either to half a page to 1 page. That would be a better way, and we can allot the remaining pages for the body of the answer. So these are the 3 components which we need to follow. Let's look at this particular topper's structure of the essay. So as we discussed already, he has written an introduction, and let's look at it. So remaining things, he has body of the answer he has presented in subheading cum box format. And if you come to the last page, that is the last few lines, the last paragraph, he has allotted for presenting his conclusion for the essay. So this is the overall the structure of the essay. First we need to understand, friends. Additionally, as I said already, apart from the structure of the essay, if you look at the body of the essay is going to be the main attacking thing which you should do to fetch more marks. And while writing the body of the essay, like GS paper, we can present the body of the essay in subheading approach. So this is something which you can do in GS paper as well as in essay paper. And if you look at the total number of subheading which this that is All India Rank 1 Anudeep Durishetty has used is, he has used major subheadings only, friends. That is, first one is learning and change definition, he has used it. Second subheading, if you look at how learning leads to change across space and time, that is the second subheading he has used. Then if you look at the third subheading, he has put it for the learning and change the barriers, he has used it. Then learning and change towards a better future. So overall in his throughout the essay he has only used 4 major subheadings. So this is something which we can also do, friends. We should not come out with listing more number of subheadings in our essay. We should try to come out with major subheadings. Additionally, one more important thing in essay we need to learn is we should not present our essay in a point-wise approach. Whenever we write a subheading, it should be followed by paragraph based approach. This is one important learning which we need to adapt ourselves from GS to essay. So the important thing is present the subheading first, then followed by that you can present whatever things you wanted to convey to the examiner in a paragraph format, and the paragraphs can be broken into various as many paragraphs as you want in the UPSC examination. introduction. Even if you look at this particular topper, for a single subheading, as per his requirement, he has used varieties of paragraphs, and each of the paragraphs should convey a different dimension. That is why we can break the paragraph. When we convey a single theme, it can be conveyed in a single continuous paragraph itself. So before going into this discussion, friends, let's till now simplify whatever we have understood. In an essay, the first most priority thing is there should be a proper structure in the essay, because the structure of the essay in the UPSC mains examination itself will be roughly carrying 10 marks. So this is something we need to do very consciously, and after doing that we should write what is the theme of the question which has been asked here. As per the theme of the question, we should break the body of the essay into subheadings, and followed by the subheading we should present our answer in a paragraph format. So after doing all this, friends, the most important thing which we need to do in essay is writing the essay in a proper organized manner. This is something usually the UPSC toppers will be having genetically in their blood. Reason being that, friends, we all are aspiring to be an IAS officer, and upon any topic which they are going to ask us in the essay paper, they will be looking for whether you are having a organized way of presenting your thoughts. Not only that, whether your thoughts are logical, that also they will be checking it. Where they will be checking it means, whenever you write one paragraph and when you move to the next paragraph, there should be a continuity in the paragraph where you end and the paragraph where you start. So this is something the UPSC toppers will be doing it very consciously. This kind of logical connectivity between paragraphs is called as coherence. This is also something which we need to do in essay paper, friends. Even if you look at this particular UPSC topper, if you look at wherever topics you want to pick up, he will be ending the paragraph, and the next paragraph which he is starting, he will provide a linkage. So that is something which we need to learn and incorporate. So if you see here, friends, before 1950s, women were thought to be inferior to men. So he is talking about something related to women. That is a social dimension he is talking about. While moving to the next topic, he will be putting a connecting, that is a connecting word that can be hence, or it can be similarly, or it can be further. So in politics too, so or before, this kind of connecting words if you use, like moreover, lastly, this serves as a crucial linkage between these two paragraphs. Apart from that, the thought process whichever we wanted to convey, that is the content which we are going to carry out, that should also have a continuity. If you look at the first introduction, if you see the last line in the first paragraph, thus it can be seen that from above, that is learning comes change. Then after that, the next paragraph which is starting, again he is continuing from where he left. So change refers to fundamental transformation. Not only that, friends, these toppers also, whenever they move from one paragraph to another paragraph, they will maintain that continuity in the flow of thoughts, and not only that, they will maintain it with the help of bringing up some connecting words. That is also something which we have learned today. Apart from that, what we have to do is we have to focus upon the dimensions. When we present a single dimension, that should be conveyed in a single paragraph. So let's look at it very clearly. After writing the introduction, this topper has moved to the body of the answer. And one more thing, friends, let's now look at the what are the various approaches he has first followed in his introduction. Then we will move to the body of the answer, and let's discuss one by one what are the innovative techniques which he has adopted. If you look at the introduction, since the topic is pertaining to the keywords change and learning, he has started with something related to the scheme of that is which is followed in the government of Tamil Nadu, which has first adopted something related to that is correcting the problems of malnutrition. For doing that, the Tamil Nadu government was the first state in India to come out with midday meal scheme, and this we have studied in economics topic. And this particular topper narrated that incident in a very beautiful manner in a story format, and he made a relevance that the problem of malnutrition has been changed through whatever the kind of techniques they have adopted, especially the midday meal scheme which they have adopted led to a huge change, educational change, and it solved the problems of learning. This is something is bringing a real incident or story to justify his point, and not only that, it will impress the examiner in a very closed manner. Reason being that if you write some real incidents or story, that is something looks very close to the UPSC examiner and he can connect it. So in the essay paper, what we can do is, whenever we start an essay, we can either start with a beautiful story to connect the theme of the essay, or else what we can do is we can start it with any contemporary or current affairs examples, and then we can move on to the next segment. That is, after writing an introduction, what we have to do is immediately we need to explain what is the meaning of the topic which has been especially conveyed in the essay. What we need to especially focus here is, friends, the keywords. As I said already, the keyword here is learning and change. The topper has also used two paragraphs to explain what is the meaning of learning and change. And before moving from first paragraph learning to next paragraph change, he has connected that learning with change. This is what I have been telling, coherence. This is what we need to do in UPSC exam very consciously, so that we can carry very good marks in essay paper. Okay friends, so after writing the definition segment, that is followed by introduction, we should explain what is the meaning of the topic or essay. After doing that, then we can go into the context of the essay. So while going into the context of the essay, this is going to be the very crucial segment in your essay. We need to necessarily bring in various dimensions in essay. And how much our dimensions we are going to bring in, it is going to fetch us more marks in the UPSC essay paper. Not only that, our dimension should be relevant and it should be linked with the topic which we are talking about. That should be maintained throughout the essay. If you look at this particular topper, friends, that is All India Rank 1 Anudeep Durishetty, he has brought in various dimensions in his answer, and this is what something which we need to learn. First dimension which he has brought in his essay paper is the spatial and temporal dimension. So what we mean by spatial means quoting various that is geographical based spaces across the places, you can quote examples from USA, you can quote examples from Europe or Russia, India. This is the way of spatial dimension which we need to bring in essay paper. Second is the temporal dimension. What we mean by temporal dimension means bringing a time dimension, that is past, present and then future. So this is something which we need to do. If you look at this particular UPSC topper, he has started addressing both this spatial and temporal dimension in his subheading itself. This is going to catch the eye of the examiner very clearly, because whoever is going to evaluate your essay paper, the first most important quality they will look at is once whether the student who is writing the essay paper has understood the topic. Followed by that, he will immediately look for whether you are having a multidimensional approach in your essay. So if you look at this particular topper, he has done it in the subheading itself. Not only that, friends, apart from doing the spatial and temporal dimensions, he has brought in second kind of dimensional approach, that is second order of dimension. Usually most of the UPSC aspirants will be focusing on the second order of dimension only, not on the first order of dimension which I have been discussing. That spatial and temporal, many will be missing it. But this topper has done that also, and additionally he has done what most of the people will be doing, that is our normal way of bringing various dimensions in our answer. That is first writing the historical dimension, then writing the economical dimension, then we should try to connect it with the political dimension. Then we can also quote what are the various social dimensions, and while talking about social dimensions, we can particularly focus upon vulnerable communities. Vulnerable communities means women, and then minority communities. So those people, say SC/STs who are facing problems of deprivation, discrimination, they can be brought into the limelight, and their context can be linked with the topic which is asked in the question. So that is a social dimension we are talking about. Then we can bring in the administrative approach. What we mean by administrative approach is what is government doing, or what are the government schemes which are related to the topic, and how it is today running. That you can link it in the administrative perspective. And then we can bring in environmental perspective, because environmental perspective will always carry more relevance to many of the topics which will be asked in the essay paper. Followed by that, we can also bring in contemporary, that is current affairs based perspective or dimension. So if we can bring in the second order 7 dimensions in our essay paper, our essay will look even more attractive to the UPSC examiner to fetch more marks. So if you look at this particular topper in the body of the essay, So he has used the first order dimension, two things. What is that? Spatial, second is temporal. So if you look at this particular essay, for using the spatial dimension, he is first talking about something which happened in USA. Then he immediately moves on to India. This is enough to talk about the examples across the world. That is the spatial dimension I am talking about. Second thing is the temporal dimension. What do we mean by temporal dimension? Means we have to talk about past, something in the history or basic civilization. From scratch we have to start, and then we have to make that essay to travel across the timeline. From the past we have to move to the present, then we have to say a way forward, that is the future. If you look at this particular topper, he has started something from historical perspective, that is the past. He has mentioned the timeline also, 1500 to 1860. If you look at continuously the essay, he is moving the timeline from 1800, he has moved to 1990, then he is again moving to the timeline after that, and then finally followed by that. If you look at, he has even came up to 2016. In each paragraph he is moving the timeline, and finally if you look at, he has came to the contemporary perspective or problem of climatic change. This is what I have been talking about, friends. We need to bring in various dimensions in our answer, and we need to make use of the spatial and temporal dimensions in these various topics only. So we need to use both this kind of dimensions, and that should be interlinked in the body of the answer whichever we are writing. So this is something which we need to do. Apart from that, let's now move to the second order dimension which we have listed it. That is, whenever we start an essay, it's always advisable to start with the historical approach first, because we will be covering our spatial dimension in a beautiful manner. This is something which we should do. Not only that, friends, if you look at this particular topper, he has also done it, as I said already. He has first written a historical approach, followed by that he has moved to the economical approach, and then he has moved to the GDP. That is, this is also an economic approach. This is a political approach. So if you look at it, first historical, economical, third is political. Then the next thing is talking about vulnerable communities, that is a social dimension. Here we can talk about tribes, women, lesbian communities, minorities, all those sectors, peoples can be covered under the social dimension. Then if you look at it, even he has also talked about lesbian community. Followed by that, he has also talked about the administrative perspective, which we have been talking about. Then he has followed to the climatic change topic. This is an environmental perspective. Followed by that, he has moved to the contemporary perspective. So these are the 7 dimensions which we can bring in our answer to fetch maximum marks. Additionally, we can also bring in ethical, psychological, technological, so other kind of perspectives, whichever you feel which will add value to our topic, and if you can justify that perspective, it is always advisable to bring those additional perspectives or dimensions in our answer. So after writing the main body of the answer, this UPSC topper is also having a proper organized way of presenting his answer. This is something which we need to learn from UPSC toppers, friends, because not only is having a proper structure of essay. The structure of the essay is, that is introduction, first thing, then followed by that he has written a body, then he has finally followed by a beautiful conclusion. This is something he has done in the structure of the essay. Then he has written the body of the essay first in a definitional approach, then he went into the various dimensional approach. Now if you move to the next component, after explaining the various dimensions, this topper has moved to the what are the various challenges which has been facing regarding to the particular topic. What are the challenges the world is facing? Even while writing the challenges, again he has brought in various dimensions whichever he is discussing in this previous topic. That is, what are the historical challenges we are facing, economic challenge, political challenge, social challenge. So same thing he has followed in the followed by the subheading approach. That is, first he has started with the historical approach, that is historical challenge what we are facing related to this change. Then he has talked about the economic challenge what we are facing. Then he has moved to the next one, that is political challenges, that is related to free speech what we are facing. And finally he has linked it with the contemporary dimension also, that is the problem of fake news. So after writing the challenges, he has written a way forward or a solution to the problem, or a futuristic way how to tackle this problem. So after giving all the challenges which he has listed one by one, so he is trying to give some solutions which can be done. And the solution what he is saying is, the best solution is the change has to happen within ourselves and within home, and he is also making use of the quotes to justify his stand. This is something value addition which we need to do. For doing that, we will be getting extra 5 marks in the UPSC mains examination whenever we do such kind of value addition by bringing quotes. This should be also done by us, friends. And not only that, after writing a way forward, we should come to the conclusion, and the conclusion is something which will carry maximum weightage also. Reason being that this is the main area where the examiner will award you marks. So what we have to do is we have to impress the examiner, and even if you look at this particular topper, used again Gandhiji's quote to add more value and impress the examiner and related to the topic. That is, our greatness lies not so much in changing the world as in changing ourselves. So overall, if you look at it, this particular UPSC topper has brought in various components in his essay. So these are some things which we need to learn. And coming to the marking component, as I said already, overall if you look at this particular topper, he has followed various components, and this is something which we need to learn if you wanted to fetch maximum marks in UPSC essay paper. That is, always whatever we have to do is we have to convey to the examiner whenever we write or introduce the essay topic, the first paragraph which we are writing, we need to start with either real incident or a story or a current affairs example, so that it will impress the examiner very clearly. Second thing what we have to do is we have to write a proper definition or what is the meaning of the topic of the essay which has been given. In the particular whatever topics which has been given and what you have selected, you have to convey the meaning very clearly. And followed by that, we need to go into the body based answer, where subheading come paragraph format is the main thing, and here dimension will play a crucial role. Here two order dimension has to be brought in. First is the spatial and temporal, second is the usual historical, political, social, economical, environmental, ethical and other dimensions can be brought in. Followed by that, what we can do is we have to bring in what are the challenges related to the topic and what is the solution for those topic, that is what is the way forward, and finally we can write an conclusion. And some of the value additions we can do is bringing in quotes, and not only that, writing our essay in an organized manner and having a proper coherence in our essay are some of the important things we have learned from this today's Anudeep Durishetty's essay paper. For doing these 7 crucial components, for each of that he will be carrying 10 marks. So if you count, he would have got 70 marks out of 125 marks. So in UPSC examination also, he would have carried either 70 to 75 marks per essay. Reason being that, friends, for doing that extra value addition, such as always staying in the theme of the essay or the title of the essay in each and every line what you are writing, will always give extra half a mark in the UPSC mains paper. And underlining the keywords and writing our handwriting in a presentable manner will always give that extra value addition. So overall, if you see, this topper would have carried an essay paper 70 to 75 marks. So overall, 2 essays we need to write. So you would have carried a mark of 140 to 150 in the real examination. If you look at its mark sheet also, he got one of the highest mark, as I said already, that is 155. That means 75 to 80 marks he has got in the real UPSC mains examination. So this is some crucial thing which we have learned from today's UPSC topper. Again, let's revise it. Some of the important key takeaways from today's essay is, essay should also have a proper structure, that is introduction, body of the essay and conclusion. So not only that, before writing conclusion, we should have challenges, way forward. This is something we need to do. That is introduction, body, challenges, way forward, conclusion is the main structure we need to maintain. And coming to the body of the answer, that should be written in a subheading cum paragraph format and not point-wise format. And the first thing we have to do is, in the body of the essay, we have to explain the meaning of the title, and we should carry maximum dimension, and it should be 2 order dimension, that is spatial, temporal, and the followed by the usual approach. Then value addition which we need to do to fetch extra marks is bringing in quotes, bringing in coherence, staying within the theme of the essay are some of the key takeaways from today's video. I hope today's essay was very useful to you. We'll meet again in tomorrow's video, friends. Thanks for watching.